Hi, my name's Jason. I was asked to share, or people ask me all the time, how do I organize stuff? Like, how do I organize my notes? There's so much when it comes to learning online poker. How do you keep it all straight? Well, for me personally, I can't. I absolutely can't. Someone's like, oh, you just got to start memorizing the RFI charts, the raise first in charts, stuff like that. And there's like 7 or 8. Everyone has 7 or 8 that they come up with because from different positions. So I told someone that I would make a video on how I actually organize mine. So I'm going to, let's see, do a screen share here. Make sure I grab the right one. Okay, on exactly how I do this. So basically what I do, you have to excuse me, I am playing at the same time. Basically what I did here is this is what I use up through NL10. I used a 6-max guide and I turned it into something for full ring. And then like for RFI and stuff like that, for raise first in, you're gonna see a little credit over here to Black Rain 79. And I've probably adjusted some of this since then too. So if Nathan Williams, if you watch this, I probably adjusted this. So if you're like, I don't say play that there, then it's probably because I adjusted it somewhere based on advice somewhere else. But this worked for me up through NL10, and it actually did work for the beginning stages of NL25 for me, and then just things went a little sideways on me. So I ended up purchasing parts of a different system, and I'm not going to share that system with you because I paid for it. So, but this is basically how I organize my RFI charts to start. And then there's also tabs down here for action charts too. And I'll get to that in a second. So under the gun, any hand that I'm gonna play under the gun is in this green color. So aces down to 9s, anything suited through ace 10, ace king, and ace queen. That's what I was playing under the gun. Under the gun +1, we're adding any hands in this light blue. So king, queen suited, and ace, jack unsuited. So then obviously I can play those in anything above that color. So, and I added 8s. So here we've got middle position 1, or if you want to call it under the gun +2, whatever you call it, whatever makes more sense to you, use it. So now that's red. So now I add these hands, and anything above it can be played from there. And so on and so forth until you get all the way out here. You know, your button hands are all in gray here. Small blind, I just, I said the same. And then anything that you're calling or raising from the big blind is in bold. So this is a system that made sense to me. Okay, can you back up? I'm making a video here. Here, bud. You want this pen? Yeah. Oh, sure, a pen that looks like an actual. All right. Okay. So anyway, going back, where was I? Sorry. So hopefully that makes sense. And then like my pre-flop action charts are all down here too. What am I calling with? I'm calling with 6-6 to 10-10, ace jack plus, king queen, which I actually don't advise doing that. Jack 10 suited and up. I'm 3-betting here. This is my 3-betting. I'm 3-betting with. This is what I'm calling 3-bets with. Hold on, I got pocket aces over here. 1, time to go broke. What am I 4-betting, calling 4-bets with? And then I did put some specialty stuff, like in my 3-betting, 7-8 suited, 8-9 suited, 9-10 suited, that kind of stuff. That's if I've got HUD stats, so that's in there too. Currently, I am not using a HUD because I'm on Ignition. They allow a HUD, but you need an extra extension, and just too cheap to buy it. So that's basically the pre-flop and the pre-flop and the RFI, what I'm doing. Off here on the right-hand side, I've got my calculators. So I was telling this same person that I also have little automatically done calculators. So the great thing about Excel is it works like a calculator. You can plug in different formulas and make things work. I was c-betting 60%. So when I was c-betting 60%, I would type in how much the pot was after the flop. And let's say the pot was $4 even. it comes out over here to 240, 2.40, which is 60%. So you go look up over here and you can see AA9, AA, and then go across over here is 9. It's this square right here times 0.6 or 60%. So that way I would know what my bet is. And then if I'm 3-betting, my 3 bets are down here. I was 3-betting 3.5%. So this is double A 12. So let's say somebody bet $1. Okay, it's automatically going to be 350. Okay, over here. Now that's an easy one to figure out in your head. But if it's something weird like 225, okay, all right. So it's 787.5, and you can change this to be just 2 decimals. I did not. Same thing for my 4-bet. I was 4-betting at 2.2%, and C bets were check raise. You know what? No, remember, it must have deleted it. So that's the calculator that I use when I'm making my bets, so I know what my proper bet size is. So that keeps that in track. But now, what about after the flop? I had this thing about overpairs, just a little quick insert, but I had this all broken down by post-flop in position, post-flop out of position, 3-bet pots in position, 3-bet pots out of position. What I'm using now is simplified a bit more, but at the time of what I was reading, this is what made sense to me. And you can see my calculator is over here again, down here about what I'm betting. So it's going to be on every sheet that I click on. This is still better than trying to go through pages and pages of notes. So you can see here on the flop, if my opponent donks or bets, I have things based on if they bet half pot or less, or if they bet more than half pot. So that's, then your actions are based on that. If it's checked to you when you're in position, I'm betting 60% with these hands. If they're fold, the C bet is 60% or higher, then I'm going to be doing different things. If I'm raised, what happens if it's a multi-week pot? So that's there in yellow. And then as you go down here, you can see the turn is down here. Same thing. What are you going to do on the turn? If the opponent bets half pot, 3/4 pot, these are the hands that you're calling with. These are the, you're going to raise 3.5 with these hands. You're going to, basically it gives you everything to do. And this again is based off of the notes that I took, and I organized them in a way that made sense for me. And these are my post-flop action charts. And again, it's separated out. My calculators are right there. So, I guess my check raise was 2.2%. So hopefully I answered some questions. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense, makes it a little bit easier for you to organize your thoughts. This is just what I do. Something different may work for you, something similar but different. But what really, really helped with me a lot, again, was these pre-flop RFI charts. And just color coding them like this. I know my friend of me was asking me about this. He has a hard time following that. It doesn't make much sense to him, but that's not his fault. That's just the way his mind is wired. This makes sense to me. This may or may not make sense to you. Now, hopefully it does, and hopefully it's something that you can use. So whatever you're studying, if you're studying Nathan Williams stuff, if you're doing upswing or what's the red chip, any of those things, whatever you're studying, wherever you get your information from, if it makes sense to you, put it in this format for RFI and for your pre-flop stuff, and then your post-flop action charts. So, and make these calculators. That way you know what to bet. So if you're not a math person, I am a math person, but I'm not a math on the fly kind of person. So you got your little calculators here that will help. So hopefully that makes sense for you, and hopefully that works for you. If it doesn't, I apologize. If it does, great. Any questions, feel free to ask. I'll talk to you later.